What's up, guys? I'm Stinkfish, and this week in WWE, they really want you to cheer Roman Reigns. Monday Night Raw kicked off with Triple H coming down to the ring, business suit and everything. He's getting cheered, but Michael Cole's on commentary saying, oh, he gave the most vicious, hellacious beatdown to Roman Reigns I've ever seen, really making it seem like the most gruesome thing ever. And Triple H gets in the ring. What does he do to combat the cheers? He starts talking authority. Starts saying how no one challenges authority. The authority's better than everyone. You're not supposed to challenge your boss. So the boss will just put you in your place. No one challenges authority is what he said. So here comes Dean Ambrose, one of the most anti-establishment characters that we've seen in WWE in a long time. They're really trying to book Roman Reigns as that guy who's been going up against the authority, but realistically, Dean Ambrose is more like Steve Austin than Roman Reigns is. So he's the one that comes down, he gets in Triple H's face, says that I'm the one that you did not want to face at WrestleMania. Triple H counters by saying you were the least legitimate threat in that triple threat match, and it's laughable that you think you can beat me. So Dean says that he knows Triple H is scared of him, and that Triple H doesn't think he can beat Dean Ambrose, so Dean Ambrose challenges him to a match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. By the end of the night, Triple H has accepted the match, and we've seen on WWE.com, the WWE app, whatever your news source is, that that match will take place on a WWE Network special called WWE Roadblock. I don't know how to feel about this, but it's whatever. I mean, it's just another thing to watch on the network. It's kind of like the Beast in the East special, where it's just something where it's supposed to be a house show, but they throw it on the network, they make it a whole big thing. But to me, it just feels weird because it's like Fastlane is supposed to be that final stop on the road to WrestleMania, but throwing in a roadblock, I guess, makes sense. So now they've turned the first hour of Raw into NXT. Oh, wait, no, it wasn't NXT. It was just Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch in the #1 contenders match with the same finish that they did on NXT a couple weeks ago. Obviously not the same finish, like not the same move or whatever, but a double pin for the #1 contender. Like, really, is your creative team that fucking stupid where they can't come up with something unique? They have to literally go to the developmental brand and steal their storylines. This was a good, solid wrestling match. It started off like very almost amateur style. They were countering each other, going back and forth, reversing each other's finishers with like good like technical wrestling. And then it just turned into their typical good pro wrestling match. These two are great in the ring. That sloppy finish just kind of like throws it all out. So they had a rematch on SmackDown, and I hope you didn't get your hopes up because there's still no clear winner. Charlotte attacks both of them during the match, so maybe they're setting up a triple threat at Mania, and that's the route they're gonna go. But for the love of God, please, someone figure out what you're talking about on the commentary table. There was like name confusion, they're embellishing the moves, they're like, I don't know, they're just like commentated. For me, my perspective, the commentary on this match was very, very poor. It just kind of really took me out of the match. It was hard for me to enjoy it just because the commentary was so awful. Like they were confusing the names, they were embellishing moves, like, someone just kind of takes a soft hit and just kind of plops to the mat, and Michael Cole's like, oh, a vicious hit, she hits the mat hard. I'm like, no, she didn't hit the mat hard. Don't say that if that's not what happened. Like, JBL always, I've seen on Botchamania, JBL will always get called out for saying like, oh, I don't think he caught all of it. Yeah, say something like that. Be real about it. Like, don't embellish anything because it just sort of ruins the match for me. And the Wyatt family cuts another promo and quote, you'll end up conquered like the rest of them. Like the rest of who? The Titans who beat you at Fastlane? Roman Reigns who beat you a long time ago at Hell in a Cell? Undertaker who beat you at WrestleMania and at Survivor Series? Come on, like, WWE has crushed the Wyatt family, and I'm kind of done with them at this point. Now it looks like they're setting up a Dolph versus Miz rivalry. They had some sort of pre-show thing, confrontation. They have a match. Dolph is owning him with his amateur wrestling abilities and then does his whatever Dolph Ziggler does in the ring. He's owning the Miz. Miz does one sidestep, gets a roll up. The match was like 1 minute long and the Miz won. And then in a rematch on SmackDown, Dolph Ziggler wins. So I don't know if this is setting up a WrestleMania match or what they're gonna do with this, but I don't know. It seems kind of pointless. Then we get Stephanie McMahon, and it seems like the theme of the night is you're supposed to boo the authority. Triple H will get cheered because he's Triple H, But Stephanie gets booed on her way out. She's about to give her acceptance speech that she couldn't give last week. She's getting booed too loudly to give the speech. And so then she puts her book down, she kicks the table over, and then she just basically goes on a rant slandering Shane, basically writing him out of the family, saying he's done nothing for this business. She's put her heart and soul into the business. And following in the footsteps of her husband Triple H, she's telling us all to bow down to her, the queen of WWE. The only comment I have about this is that it really felt awkward, just like thrown in the middle of the show. Nothing really came out of it other than Stephanie getting the heat she needed. The one real takeaway from this, from me, is that it felt like one of her better promos in recent history. Like, it felt like this was like the best that she ever has been on the mic. And she got the heat that she needed to really get the authority to be booed. So then we get our first tag team match of the night. Thank God it's not a tag team match all night like it was last week. But we have the Lucha Dragons going up against the League of Nations. Whatever this is. Yeah, this is a thing, I guess. This is just whatever they're doing. So the match goes down basically like Sin Cara's getting dominated the entire match. Kalisto gets a hot tag. He comes in, starts cleaning house. In the match is Sheamus and Rusev. They're in the match. But so then while Kalisto is on a roll, Del Rio distracts Kalisto. Rusev catches Kalisto with a kick. Gets the pin. 1, 2, 3. Del Rio goes in the ring. Takes out Kalisto with a double foot stomp in the corner. Is this rivalry going to continue? Are they going to have a fourth match at WrestleMania? Please don't. Please just give Kalisto something else to do with the title. Put him up against Neville. Put him up against someone who needs a spotlight. Don't keep doing the same match. Again, if you want to, at least put a stipulation on it. But there's already a street fight and a Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania. So I don't really know what you want to do. Heel turn confirmed for the big guy. Ryback is officially heel. He had a one-on-one match with Adam Rose, the Radical Mongoose, and he basically just dominated him the whole match. And at one point the referee was trying to pull Ryback off of Adam Rose while he was just punching him and punching him and punching him, and he just wouldn't stop punching him. I thought they were going to call it DQ for Ryback not getting off, but he doesn't. Picks Adam Rose up, shell shock, doesn't botch it this time, and heel turn confirmed. What does this mean for Ryback heading into WrestleMania? I don't know. My prediction is still that he, Big Show, and Kane will all be thrown in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Unless they're going to keep going with this Big Show Kevin Owens angle. They had a rematch on Raw. I'll get to that in a second. Unless they're going to go with Big Show versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title, which I don't want to see. So then we get the New Day coming out. They're doing a promo, calling everyone booty, talking about booty. Big E talks about a loose booty or something. I was just like, what? Is that PG? Can Big E get away with that? I guess he can get away with it. All I remember hearing was loose booty, and he was like, oh yeah, you like it? You like what I did there? I was like, what? But so Y2AJ is a thing. They're embracing the name. They showed some tweets back and forth between Jericho and AJ. AJ said that's how future tag team champions behave or whatever. And honestly, they have good chemistry in the ring. They seem like a legitimate tag team, and I really like seeing them work together in the ring. They're two guys who have similar styles, sort of like similar paths in getting to WWE, sort of. But yeah, I don't know, they work well together, and I like seeing them as a tag team. This was a good match between the two teams, and I would like to see a rematch at Mania for the titles. But what they did, Chris Jericho made Kofi tap out. They got a clean win over the tag team champions. So Jericho and AJ challenged the New Day to a tag team championship match next Monday on Raw, and the match was made official. So what does this mean is going to happen for the tag titles at WrestleMania? I'm not sure. Maybe a rubber match at Mania. Maybe Enzo and Cass come in. But I think with 4 weeks left, you really can't bring them in and establish them quick enough. Maybe the League of Nations are still getting involved, but I'm not really sure. So I guess we'll just see where that one goes. So in the next segment, out comes Vince McMahon. Again, he's not getting cheered like he did last week when he came out. He got a nice pop, but this week he was getting nothing. And so Vince gets on the microphone, he's like, really, that's all you give me? So sort of acknowledging that. I guess he's getting more and more heat because of the storyline, which is what they want, so they're succeeding. But so Vince basically says that Shane winning at WrestleMania requires a miracle, and he talks about Shane, if Shane won, people think he's going to lead WWE into a new era, excitement or whatever, and he says Triple H and Stephanie would quit, they'd be gone out of the company, and I don't know, he just went on and on. Again, basically the same thing as Stephanie, slandering Shane, saying that like he's just like not supposed to be in that position. But so then he introduces The Undertaker, and The Undertaker comes out, and Vince has been calling him my implement of destruction. And when Undertaker hears that, he grabs Vince's neck, and he looks at him, and he says, "You know what I do in that ring. You know what I do when that door closes. And the blood of your son will be on your hands, not mine." And then he leaves. And so then Vince, clearly, visibly shooken up about it, just goes on and basically says that when Shane loses, he will renounce him as his son and write him out of the will and all this crazy stuff. And yeah, so we still have not much more development on the match. We sort of have Undertaker's perspective on it. He's just like, if this is what you want to do, this is the match you want to put me in, I'm just going to do what I do best. I saw somewhere, I can't remember where, but someone basically said there's really no further development with the match. Like, we still don't have questions answered. To me, it seems pretty obvious. I mean, The Undertaker is just there. He wrestles. That's what he does, and that's what he's going to do. He's like, I don't care what you want to do with me. If you put me in a match, I'm going to wrestle, and I'm going to do whatever I can to win the match. Like, I don't care about the storyline aspect of it. I care about winning my matches. So it looks like they're continuing with this Dudleys versus Usos rivalry, because they had a Bubba versus Jay match on Raw, and Devon had taken out a table from under the ring, and it distracted Jay, I think, and so Devon then hits Jimmy with it. Bubba takes advantage of the distraction and pins Jay. The Dudleys win. So then on SmackDown, the League of Nations beat the Usos. Dudleys come out, tease putting the Usos through a table, but they don't. So they're just trying to get the heat. I don't know if this is going to be a WrestleMania match or what it's going to be, but this is a thing, and I don't know how to write it. I don't know what they should do. It's just, you know, it's just a rivalry. It's just any other meaningless rivalry that's just going to carry on and we're not going to give a shit about. So then we get a rematch between Kevin Owens and Big Show from their match on SmackDown, where Kevin Owens won by countout, and they had the same finish on this match. I mean, like I said earlier, this is not a WrestleMania match I want to see. And I got the taste of it from SmackDown and Raw. I know Big Show's supposed to be putting the younger talent over. That's like what he's here to do. That's what he said on the podcast. And if he wants to put Kevin Owens over, that's great. But as a fan, like, as just like watching it for the wrestling product, this isn't a match I really want to see, especially now that we've seen it twice. It's not an AJ Styles, Chris Jericho 2 matches in a row with the rubber match. Like, it's Kevin Owens and Big Show. Kevin Owens is great, but Big Show, I don't know, it wasn't an entertaining match, especially because they used the same finish where this time Kevin Owens got dropped on the top rope, he fell to the outside of the ring, Big Show wins by countout, and he's laughing, he's yucking it up, and he's being a happy good guy. He's turned face. He's turned, how many times? Backstage, we see Brie Bella before her match, and Lana confronts her and basically says, "You're a pathetic woman, I'm a better woman, my man is better than your man, blah blah blah." And Brie says, "Why don't you step in the ring and then we'll see where all that talking gets you." So Brie has her match with Naomi. It's alright. I mean, Naomi looks fine in the ring. I think she's a great athlete and she can go in the ring. Brie looks improved but still just sloppy. Her and Naomi definitely didn't have the chemistry that Brie and Charlotte had, and that's saying something. And so the match goes on. Naomi wins with a new submission move. I've never seen Naomi use that submission move, so I'm going to shout out to Adam for calling that in his How WWE Should Book WrestleMania 32 video, where he said Naomi should win a #1 contenders match by using a new submission that we've never seen before. Granted, she's not using the new submission for the first time on the grandest stage of them all, but she's using a new submission. Maybe this becomes a regular thing, and maybe Adam just fucking called that. But so post-match, to tie things all back together, Lana comes out, basically just stares at Brie, smiles, laughs, whatever she did. So hopefully they're setting up Lana as an in-ring competitor, because she's not really doing anything with Rusev anymore. So if she gets in the ring, it just adds another diva to the roster, and it'd be interesting. You know, the fans want to see it. The fans always chant, "We want Lana at Rusev," so she'll get cheered. Why not? So then we have the main event that was set up earlier tonight by Triple H when Dean Ambrose confronted him. It's Dean Ambrose versus Alberto Del Rio. This was an alright match. Nothing special about it other than Del Rio basically taking advantage of Dean's injuries. He was all taped up across his chest and on his shoulders, so Del Rio was attacking that. And then at some point in the match, I think Dean was making a comeback. Just like last week when Triple H came out during Roman Reigns in the Sheamus match. Triple H comes out, but instead of attacking Ambrose himself, he basically motions to the League of Nations to attack Dean Ambrose for him. Triple H looks at the fallen Dean Ambrose and says, "You're never gonna beat the Authority." Dean Ambrose starts throwing a few punches, backing Triple H in the corner, then Triple H hits a pedigree. And then he tells Dean Ambrose, "You're on. We have a title match." So this is the thing that I love about Dean Ambrose. As Triple H is walking back up the ramp, once Dean Ambrose has the strength to get a microphone and speak into it, he just says, "Thanks." And Triple H, you can see him just like, oh, rips his jacket off, goes back to the ring, and just starts attacking Dean Ambrose again. Throws Dean Ambrose outside the ring, throws him across the announce table, and the biggest spot of the night, Triple H tosses Byron Saxton's ass over the table, throws him down. That was awesome. I loved seeing that. That was hilarious. I don't remember if the crowd chanted this or not, but I really hope that they did chant "Thank you, Game" or "Thank you, H" or something, because he deserved it for that. So there's nothing really too progressive on SmackDown, other than an AJ Styles with Kofi Kingston match, Dean Ambrose battled Kevin Owens. Nothing that really pushes a storyline anywhere, at least not significantly. But so other notes I wanted to mention were that they used "Hail to the King" by Avenged Sevenfold as a theme for WrestleMania when they showed the Shane vs. Undertaker Hell in a Cell match, and also when they showed, I think it was the Triple H vs. Roman match, one of the other two confirmed matches, they used "Hail to the King" as a theme for that. And I was really happy about this, not just because I really like that song and that band, just because when I think about WrestleMania, when I think about wrestling in general, to me it's still like a violent, gruesome, well, not violent and gruesome, but like it's still like a physical sport. Like it's contact, you're supposed to get pumped up for it. I know it's an entertainment business, and so that's why they use songs like "My House" by Flo Rida, and they have a good tie with him, so they want to promote his music or whatever. But as a fan, like when I want to, or even if I'm a wrestler, I don't want to be listening to Flo Rida to get pumped up for my match or pumped up for the event. Like that, I'm not saying go as heavy as metal, but something rock, like Avenged Sevenfold, like "Hail to the King." I think it fits perfectly, and I'm really happy that they are using that as an alternate theme for WrestleMania. Another note is that Shane will be on Raw next week, so that's exciting. That's something that we can all look forward to. We can see what he has to say and just see how this storyline progresses. Like I said, we still have 4 weeks left. I want to take this week by week and just see how they can add another layer each week and really give it a nice slow build to WrestleMania, because they've given themselves this 6-week gap. Aside from Roadblock, because I don't know what the day is for that, but that's going to happen, and it's just going to be a roadblock in the road to WrestleMania. So I don't know, we'll see how that plays in, but yeah, like I said, I just want to keep playing this week by week. In NXT related news, it has just been announced that NXT is coming here to my school, performing down at the Ryan Center. It's down that way where I'm pointing. That's just sort of like the general direction where my gym is, at URI, by the way. They're coming and they're performing, and I am getting tickets. I will be there. I'll take pictures or videos or whatever. I'll let you know how it goes. I'm really excited about that because I just saw TLC, and that was my first event, my first live event in ages. I can't remember the last time I'd been to an event. I used to go to like small shows in my hometown, but they were like super small and they were not televised. The ring even had to be smaller than it usually is. But so as exciting as TLC was, it's not NXT. NXT is just a different thing completely, and I'm really excited to feel the vibe in that atmosphere, that arena, just feel how it is. I don't know who's going to be champion because this is April 22nd, Friday, and I don't know if Finn Balor's still going to be champion. We don't know if he's going to debut on the main roster. I imagine Apollo Crews will still be there. But you have all these people. Bayley, she might go up to the main roster by then, we're not sure. But I just love NXT. I love how it's grown over the last year. I think I started watching somewhere around the fall or winter last year. But so I've loved watching it grow, and I'm really excited to go to the show. I'll keep you guys updated with that. I'm buying tickets tomorrow, the day after this recording, and so I'll just keep you updated with that. But so with all this, the one thing that we should all take away from this is that Byron Saxton needs to be kicked off the commentary team. Put Mauro Ranallo on Raw, put him on the pay-per-views, do something, get rid of Byron Saxton, get rid of Michael Cole while you're at it, because he's awful too. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about everything in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I am Stinkfish, it has been nice talking to you, and I will see you in the next video.